Hey, welcome everyone, which is no one so far. That's okay. This is Garage Geek, and I haven't done a live show in a while, and I felt like doing one. I'm organizing my garage, and instead of taking the time to organize everything, I decided why not to just do a live stream. So I'm actually going to take this opportunity to show off two collections of books and some comics that I recently got, and also what I'm going to be trying to cover for the next week or so. Uh, so yeah, um, I'm just going to go ahead and start. I know no one's here, but maybe in reruns. So I'm going to show off two sets of books today. I'm going to kind of go back and forth with my comics. So I recently finished, which is yesterday, a New York review of books. And in honor of the New York Times putting out their 100 greatest novels of the 21st century, which I really, really like, I'm going to go ahead and show off my smallish collection of New York Review of books. So, if you're not familiar with the New York Review of books, there's basically they have an art or photo with a square in the middle, and then on the side of the book they will have that symbol, New York Review of Books, and in the back they'll also have that. So this one is by Dino Buzzati. Now, I actually studied him when I was in college, and he's kind of like Italian, kind of weird existential writer. And this one sounds really interesting. I bought this about 6 months ago, and I haven't read it yet. I really need to. It sounds like a weird read, but it's also touted as something like Kafka-esque, and it's about a man who is struggling to get inside of a stronghold, but he's where he will find faith and devotion and acceptance. But supposedly he's already inside. It sounds really strange, and yeah, I need to read that. So next in the New York Review of Books, I have this Toby Jansen, the summer book. Now, I recently have been buying Toby Jansen's Momin series, and they're actually a lot of fun. So I haven't read any of her prose, and this looks like a really quick read, and it also has illustrations in it, which I'm all for. Not only is this short, I mean, look, it's like almost double spaced, and the length isn't too difficult. But you got illustrations, so I'm looking forward to jumping into this and comparing it to the Moments. It's hard for me to put this one way because of the camera placement. Anyways, there you go. The Summer Book by Toby Jansen. So that's the second New York Review of books that I showed. The next one is one of the kind of the earlier ones that I got and I read, and this is Store of the Worlds: The Stories of Robert Sheckley. And so these are science fiction stories, and I read this, and right off the top of my head, I don't remember the stories, but I remember really enjoying this. I know if I like look at each story and then like kind of skim through it, I would remember what it's about. But I would recommend this. I mean, I don't like that cover too much. I'm a person who really goes for art when it comes to the books that I buy. But this was a really really good book. I'm wondering. Let's see. Oops, I clicked something and I got it. Um, Next, I have this short volume of. This will be the last one I do before I move on to something else. A Month in the Country by J.L. Carr. Now, this writer did either he was nominated for the Booker Prize or he won the Booker Prize, and it might have been for this book. And I'm not sure if I've read this. I've read a lot of the Booker Prize winners, uh, but I just don't remember. I do really like the art on that, and at some point I will be rereading this or reading it for the first time. Okay, so I only have 17 of these novels, and so I went through the first four. I'm going to go ahead and put those down. I'm going to switch to some to some comics just to make it a little bit different. So these are all comics that I bought recently. Hi, Guz. Are you ready for tomorrow? I have to make Guz and I are doing what is it? A challenge show, and I gave him Diamanda Galas, which really isn't out of his wheelhouse. So I think it would be something that he would enjoy. But if you've never heard her singing, it's very, very different. It's very like a witch screeching, but in a good way. And then he gave me an album that is Gus. Can you throw the name? And I never remember the name, but I'm actually digging it, Gus. But I do have a couple of caveats to say about it. Hi, B-Sides. How you doing? It's so nice to hear from you. I have to. When are you going to do a live stream? Because I need to jump on. I haven't been on since I've been on vacation, and I need to change that. Sleep token. Okay, so look forward to that video tomorrow. We're both going to be posting our reaction videos. So I'm going to go ahead and show off some comics that I bought recently, and I haven't put into what do you want to call it, plastic yet. So I've been digging this Creature of the Black Lagoon. This is only the second issue. Hi, Martin. Oh my gosh, people are jumping in. Mary, it's so nice to hear from you, Mary. Mary, are you still doing the show with Kristen? And if so, I haven't watched it. I was on vacation and I just kind of fell behind in everything. And I would love to do a live stream with you, Mary, sometime. Hey, Kim. It's going to be a triple G day. Garage Geek and Guz. Who's the third G? Oh, because Garage Geek has 2 G's in it. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and show off. This is 2 covers from, I can't get that centered correctly, from the, what is this? Universal Monsters from Image, Creatures of the Black Lagoon. I like Universal Monsters. I'm not going to say that I loved these covers more than issue number 1. They have a lot of variant covers in this series, but I did like the first issue a lot. Not a lot. I enjoyed it, and so I wanted to get the next issue in that series. Here's another one that I bought solely for the cover, and I actually liked the first issue, so I'm glad. And that's Space Ghost. What do you think of that cover? Is that cool or what? I don't know if that is done by computer. Like, I have no idea. And even if it is, I still like it. Let me see what some people are saying in the comments. Yeah, you haven't been in ages. My Dave is anti-streaming at the moment. Oh, wait. I have to remember to click on the comment to show it on screen. Well, that's too bad. Well, B, you should just do one with me. Remember we were supposed to do a comic one, or you were supposed to do an independent comic one, and I don't know if you actually did it. Like I said, I went on vacation. I just lost track of everything. Yeah, so this is the second series, I think. Universal Monsters also did a Dracula one, and I didn't really like the art style of that one. But it's out in a hardcover, and it's pretty thin. I think I'm going to buy the hardcover of it because after looking at it and seeing it as a whole package, I was kind of getting into the art more. It just, to my style, it's more gothic than horror. I've heard good things about this series. Oh, Hall, yeah, how you doing there? It was really nice to have you on my my channel. So I recently heard about Hall, yeah, and this is a good time to shout out some new channels. There's so many good ones that I've come across. So there's Hall, yeah, Comics, and I'm going to forget a bunch of people. There's Mike Morris. No, his name isn't Mike. It's something. I'm really bad with names, everybody. His name is not Michael Morris. It's an M Morris though. So sorry, I always forget that. And then Northern Vinyl Guy. There's so many more. Okay, if you haven't seen Vinyl Richie, read the lyrics to Push It. It was pretty funny. I felt really dirty after that. But it's pretty awesome. You have to watch it. Mark Morris, thank you, Vinyl Richie. Thank you. Yeah, I'm so bad with names. All right, let me move on with some more comics. Ooh, I got a scandalous one here. Yes, this is music. Yes, it was Mark Morris. I'm so bad with names. So what do you think of that? I know there's a lot of negative space there, but look at the art where you have it. His teeth are phenomenal. And this is Detective Comics number 1085. I mean, look at that's a pretty stunning piece of artwork, in my opinion. Vinyl Richie, yeah. Hall yeah says Vinyl Richie is the best name I've ever heard. Hall yeah, go watch him. It's on his most recent video, and you'll hear him do the lyrics, and it's really funny. It's actually kind of a turn on. Then we have this. Now this cover I only bought because of that. I mean, come on. That totally looks like a naked ass. And they get away with it. Why? Because you can see, oh, my fingers are on the wrong side. Do you see it over here? There's like lines in her pants. That's how they get away with that. But come on. This is hilarious. I don't like this kind of art, but I just thought that was kind of like crazy and I had to buy it. And this is Power Girl number 9, House of Brainiac tie-in. Oh, and of course they say "Buy me, fanboy." They know who their audience is. Yeah, creepy teeth, that's for sure. I'll definitely check it out. Yeah, you should. That's one weird looking side boob. Are you talking about on this one? This one right there, the side boob. I don't think Batman had the side boob. All right. Let's do one more comic. Now, I'm kind of a fan of this artist called DNA, and I would normally not buy a Mighty Morphin's Power Rangers comic. Not that they're bad. I just have never read one. But what do you think of that art? A lot of the comic covers by this DNA artist have these like shiny looking. I don't know how to like it. It looks like it's glossy. It's just, and for example, this artist does Catwoman really well. What do you think about that? Like that's pretty good, huh? And the colors, the color scheme. Too bad this is there to ruin it, to ruin the color scheme. Yeah. All right. So next, I'm going to be showing off some of my the other collection I'm going to show is I want to show off some of my SF Masterworks, and I only have 19 of them. So as I'm organizing my garage, I'm trying to put all the like things together. And so I was going around gathering up all these books, like the New York Review of Books and these SF Masterworks. Now, the first two I'm going to show is from, I think, the older series, and they're actually numbered. This one is number 11, obviously, and this one's number 50. And when I bought these, I didn't realize, because I usually buy these at, on eBay, and then they come and they have a different. Now I'm cognizant of the fact that there are two different printings of these books, so you can tell the difference because along the top it says SF Masterworks, and they're numbered on the side, and then the other ones have SF Masterworks on the side, and they're not numbered. And so this is the series that I more collect. So when I got these, I mean, I wasn't thrilled that I got the wrong ones, but it wasn't something horrible. So I have these two from the old series, which is this one is Greg Bear, Eon. And notice the author's name is much bigger than the actual title of the book. And this one is Olaf Stapledon, Last and First Men. I actually might have that one in the other one as well. Now, what's important about these books is I'm very ignorant of older sci-fi, and sci-fi masterworks are always going to point you in the right direction, even if they're not amazing books. They're books that if you're getting into sci-fi, you really should read. And I know, like this one is really important. I don't know about this one, so at some point I've got to get to read these. Go ahead and put those down. Now the next 4 I'm going to show is from a different series. So they had an author series of Christopher Priest, and I was getting into his books for a while, and I believe I read all 4 of these. Let me go ahead and look at the comments. Great cover, but I don't think I could buy a Power Rangers book. Well, I, you know what? When I buy things for the art, I really kind of disregard it, but the art has to be really, really stellar for me to grab it. If it's more a character I know and the art is really good, I buy it. But if it's a comic off brand for me, like the art really has to be eye catching for me to grab it. And for me, that one was. I just love the colors on it. So B is asking you, Vino, how's he been? And he's been good. All right, so this is Christopher Priest, and a couple of his books have been made into movies. One had Hugh Jackman, and oh, I can't remember the other actor famous. He might have been the Batman guy. What's his name? Sorry, I'm so bad with names. So all of these are sci-fi. The one that I read first was, what was it called? Oh, it's not here. It must be over there. Um, But the space machine is pretty interesting because this is like a sequel to the time machine, and this machine that they have not only moves through time but also through space, but it continues the story of the time machine. And I mean, I read it a while ago, but I remember really having a fun time with this. I I had a fun time with all of his books. I kind of recommend them. He's a good writer. Ah, the theme from the old Power Rangers show was pretty rad, though. You know what? When my when my daughter was young, she used to watch it. And was it the Power Rangers? Is that the one where there's five of them? And yeah, so it would come on right as she was going to school, and so we wouldn't watch the show, but we would hear the beginning of it. I think that's as far as it went. Awesome. I kind of fell out the VC YouTube train for a while. So good to see you here. Um, yeah, that was with me. Like I went on vacation as well, and people are still saying hi, hey Morton, and hey Kim. People just showed up at my house. I'll be back if I get. Oh, no problem. You could always see it in reruns. And there's some more, and then go Power Rangers. All right. So next we're going to go back to a couple of New York Review of Books. So let me grab four of these. One of these is a honking monster. All right. So another one, the next one that I have is, what do you think about the format of these books? Like I said, it's just an art piece with a square, and it's got minimal trade dress, which I like, but it goes right in the center, which is kind of interesting. Anyways, this is Machines in the Head. I bought this because it looked like some weird, creepy stories, but I actually haven't started reading it yet. There's a lot of these books I always buy and I don't have time to read, but I'm blaming my time. I buy too many books. This one I found in a free book drop, and you could see it's got a sticker on it, so I got to get rid of it. But a lot of people say this is a really good book, so I was actually really happy to find this for free. I know that sticker will come off without leaving any mark, so that was pretty cool. Next, we're getting into a kind of thick book, The Education of a Gardener. I found this one, I think, used. And what's interesting about this one is it actually has pictures throughout, which is weird for one of these types of books. So that is The Education of a Gardener by Russell Page. And then this one I bought new, and this is the Ice Trilogy by Vladimir Sorokin. Now, this is a science fiction, obviously 3 books in one. I mean, look at it; it's huge. By a Russian writer. I have no idea if this is good or not, but I'm telling you, every book that I've read in this series, I've never been let down. They're usually really good in what they choose. Put those to the side. Let me catch up with. Hey, Randall, I've been digging your videos, and man, I really want the box set that you just showed. Help me out. I'm so bad. How can I be sure? Who did that? Who's the guy who does that? He wrote everything for like Dusty Springfield, and I mean he's so famous. And then he showed a box set, and I looked it up, and it's really expensive. It's got 8 CDs. I mean, I've got some of his albums. I've definitely got a ton of his CDs. Thank you, Randall. Burt Bacharach. I want that box set. It looks so cool. They remind me a little bit of some of the Penguin classics that came out in the '90s and the aughts. And you know, I'm a huge Penguin classics fan. And so B-Side is saying hi to Randall, and so is Guz, and Randall saying hi back. This is like. Oh, I also want to since a lot more of you are here, to remind you that Guz and I are going to do a show. We're each going to post one tomorrow about a record challenge that we gave each other. So that will be tomorrow. Burt Bacharach, thank you, Bacharach. I'm so bad, right? Such an easy name to remember too. Oops, I pulled out my power cord. Put that back in. All right, so let's go on to a couple more comics. So as you probably know, oh, I don't know. Do any of you want to jump in? I could always throw in the link if you want to. Just let me know if you want to. I'm going to show a couple of what do you call it, facsimiles. So I'm of two minds with the facsimile industry because they're going ahead and they're reprinting all these really common comics. I don't think that these are very expensive to get. And so I love George Perez and I love having them brand new, right? I don't mind that. But they could be reprinting all of these older comics, which I'm going to show later. Okay, um, I'm going to be showing something like this. Like we need more of these. These are not attainable for the collector, for the average collector, and to get them in pristine condition. I mean, that's so easy to do with comics like this. So I'm I'm glad that they're they're keeping the facsimile editions going. Maybe these sell a lot, and that will help fund the older ones. I just hope they don't stop the older comics. We need those more. Um. Oh yeah, it's still here. Gua, I love spell check. Because of you, Bacharach. Oh, Bacharach. Okay, yeah, because he misspelled Bacharach. But I knew who you meant, and I knew that you knew how to spell it. What do you think of that Wonder Woman cover? Number one, I love yellow covers. And there's actually another Wonder Woman that this one came with, and I'm actually giving it to my husband. I'm going to keep this one, even though it's the cover A. I like that cover a lot. Where am I putting my comics? Oh, they're over there on the floor. Let's see. One, two. Let's do four more. Four more comics. So here's another facsimile edition of Gotham by Gaslight, and this one, of course, is Mignola. I must have read this as a kid, and I don't remember it. This one feels way flimsier than the one I had originally. I mean, it just feels lighter and flimsier, but it's by no means bad. But yeah, Gotham by Gaslight. Yeah, Michael Mignola, P. Craig Russell. Says, I regret not collecting the new Wonder Woman series. The writer is amazing. Isn't it Tom King? I'm definitely going to get it in, whatchamacallit, the new one. Are you talking about the current run? I believe it's Tom King. And Tom King for me is hit or miss, but I do enjoy most of what he does. And it will be available in so many formats, like collected editions, which I like. I bought a lot of them because my husband loves Wonder Woman, so I usually end up getting at least one issue of most of the Wonder Woman comics. Yeah, Tom King. Yeah, I heard that the run is really good. I haven't started reading it yet. So we have another facsimile edition of an Amazing Spider-Man comic. Like, where is Amazing Spider-Man number 2? Maybe number 10, number 20. Like, we need the early issues of Amazing Spider-Man in these facsimile editions. We don't need this. Like, we do not need this reprinted. Why is it? Because of the black suit and that's driven up the price? I mean, I guess. I mean, I went ahead and bought it, but I want the older issues. Here's another one. They're redoing the Secret Marvel Superhero Secret Wars, and I just showed on my Friday night chat that Mondo has 2 posters from this. It's the one where Doctor Doom is all blasted up, and they also have the just the inking only, and the original cover is $80, and just the inking one is $100. Mondo posters are expensive. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but I'm definitely sweating right now, and I have my fan on. You could probably hear that. One more. We have the King Size Avengers, and this is number 10. And I guess this is the first appearance of Mystique. This isn't the one where Carol Danvers comes back and reveals how she was mistreated. I don't think it's that one. And more than mistreated. But what's cool about this? It's got Michael Golden interior art. I don't think he did the cover. No, Milgram did the cover. Why did they not? First of all, that cover's horrible. It's busy. I would never pay top dollar to get a used copy of this, right? It's just that cover's awful. Milgram did it. I'm not saying he's a bad artist. He's not the best. Michael Golden would have been way better as a cover artist. I mean, that just, ugh. But as soon as you open it up, you get that Michael Golden art. I mean, his art is fun. It's quirky. It's so much fun to look at. Sorry, I'm off camera. I'm having like a book issue because when I'm done with these, I'm putting them on the floor. Actually, I'm not gonna put my comics on the floor. My dogs are in here. Who knows what they'll do? I'll just put them at the bottom of the stack. First Rogue. Okay, Hall wrote the first Rogue. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, I read these when they came out, and I haven't read them since. But yeah, that cover. Yeah, Michael Golden. Sleepy, you probably have a Michael Golden like over. Sleepy Reader has all those artists, many of the artist editions, and when I see them, I start drooling. They're so expensive; they're out of my range. Each one's at least $100. Do you have any of the Golden ones? Mike, by that I mean Michael Golden art. All right, I'm gonna go back to some New York Review of Books. So here we have Telluria by Vladimir Sorokin. So I guess I probably bought that just for the cover. But if you didn't see, I bought this one and I haven't read it yet. And then this is another book by him. So at some point, I need to sit down and start reading some Sorokin. And I mean, look at that. That cover is kind of fun. It's set in the future where a devastating holy war between Europe and Islam has succeeded in returning the world to the torpor and disorganization of the Middle Ages. Okay, that sounds great. Want to read that one? Oh, you don't have a Golden one. I think they just published a Micronauts one, if I'm not mistaken. And I was such a Micronauts fan. I loved those early issues of Micronauts. How about this one? Season of Migration to the North by Tayeb Salah. I mean, the name of that is amazing. And then look at that art. So, of course, I bought that just for the cover. Oh, here's the Christopher Priest one that I was trying to remember. Inverted World. This thing was trippy. I don't even think I can explain it properly. So there's a city and it's being pulled along on tracks. And the world, the actual planet or world that they're on, changes its shape. And if they don't manage to pull themselves up, they'll be destroyed in the way it's inverted. Or it's really trippy. It's hard to understand. I think had to look at a picture online by how like the world was going like an inversion, and they had to keep ahead of it. And when they would meet people and they would fall behind, and the people would start like elongating, and it was like the craziest read. This was such a fun book. I actually read this with a friend, I think, and I don't know. This thing was such a trip. Have any of you read this book? I'd be really interested to know. Inverted World by Christopher Priest. And that put me on my Christopher Priest. I was like, that book was so amazing that I went on a Christopher Priest, what do you call it? Like I started reading all of his books. And this still is his trippiest one, but the other ones are very, very good. Inverted World by Christopher Priest, so trippy. All right, I only have two. No, one left. One left. Throw that down. And this one is just awesome. This is The Haunted Looking Glass, Ghost Stories chosen by Edward Gorey. Now, I just went to the Edward Gorey Museum. And what's so cool about this is he illustrates the stories. And I know I must have read up to here because I have a bookmark in it. And I remember enjoying the stories. So with my ghost stories, I usually pull them out around Halloween and I usually read one or two. And I know some year I will finish this. But Edward Gorey, awesome. All right, we're gonna move to my sci-fi books. Let me grab these. I'm gonna go over these to show off. Yeah. When I went to the museum, in the shop, they had so many cool things to buy, but I really limited myself. But yeah, there were I took a lot of pictures because they had a bookshelf, and I guess I can't remember which book company, but he illustrated the covers to like 60 books of, I don't know, like Doubleday or something. And they're small paperbacks, and I only have one of them. And I guess at some point I want to start tracking some of those down because I'm into the old paperbacks. I don't even want to put these books on my lap because I'm all sweaty. All right, so if you saw my my Friday night chat, you know I went off on this book. I absolutely loved this book. I loved it. I think it's a masterpiece. So Jack Womack, Random Acts of Senseless Violence. I'm so glad. See, I'm trying to read the books that I have. I'm trying. Yeah, Edward Gorey's amazing. I'm pretty sure I read this one. I read 2 or 3 Arthur C. Clarke's in a row. The City and the Stars. Is this the one where there's 2 cities and they're kind of warring? I think so. Yeah, I think it's in this pile because I read it. This one was crazy. Now, I've never read anything except Dune by Frank Herbert, so I wanted to try something different. And this thing is insane. There are these sex torsos. I'm just not going to explain that to you. If you're curious, you need to read it. But these people live in hives and they act like they have the mentality of bees. And it's all about production. So sex is not something that is good for production. So they want it done fast. They know they have to do it. And so they have these sex torsos. I'm not going to explain it to you. It's so strange. This is the book that I'm actually going to read this week. Now it's hefty. It's 500 pages. I'm not going to beat myself up if I don't finish it. If I get through half of it, then I'll be okay for 1 week, but I'm going to try. If I say to myself 75 pages per day, I can get through this. I don't know anything about it, but I'm trying to read the books that I have. Great name for a song, Sex Torsos. I swear, Randall, you need to read that section of the book. As I was reading it, my mouth kind of dropped open. I was like, what? It was so crazy. How to Live Safely in a Science Fiction Universe. I haven't read that. I think I read the one about how to survive a zombie apocalypse. I read that one. Boomerang Jones and the Sex Torsos. Yes. You know what? If you want, I'll bang on the drums. You, because I don't. You know, I think that's all the talent you need for a punk band. Sorry, sorry, Vinyl Richie. Or I could scream. They scream a lot, so I could do that. I could totally do that. You don't have to sound good to be a punk vocalist. Is Sinners cyberpunk? I think it is, and I'm not a fan of the genre of cyberpunk. Where's the book? Oh, here it is. I'm not a fan of cyberpunk. I do not like Neuromancer. I'm probably like the only person on earth who does not like Neuromancer. I just don't like that book. In Sinners, the line between humanity and technology is hopelessly slim. The human mind and the external landscape had fused to the point where any encounter with reality is identical. Now you can change yourself to suit the machines, and all it will cost you is your freedom and your humanity. It it sounds cyberpunk to me because it deals a lot with machinery. Uh, so I don't know. Have any of you read that? This is my next book. I'm sure. Hopefully, I'll have good things to say about it. Oh, the last one is the last. So, like I said before, I have a very meager collection. I only have like 17 of these books, and of course, every time I see them, I want to buy them, but they're not readily available in the United States. Like you really have to find them used. They don't usually sell them in new bookstores. They're randomly on Amazon, but this one I just found on my trip, and it's two books in one. And I know that Sleepy Reader, he just showed he found the vintage paperback of the first book, and so I was jealous when I saw that. So anytime I can get one of these books under $10, that's a deal. And this one was $7.95. And I say that because they're, like I said, I think they're pretty hard to find in the United States. I could be wrong, but I don't have luck finding these this series of books. It might be. It might be. I To be honest, you know that I'm not well read in sci-fi, and so it could be. Yeah. And I'm going to go ahead and jump into some comics. I've got some comics. I got one short stack of the SF Masterworks. I got one more short stack of the New York Review of Books, and then I'm going to be shifting to some things that I'm going to be working through. And that's how I'm going to end today. And I started reading the first one. It has detailed description of a bowling alley. Are you talking about this site? What is it called? Neuromancer? Yeah, I'm not sure. What did you start reading? Because I didn't like Neuromancer, and it was a long time since I read it. Now, the next comics that I'm going to show you, they're my husband's. So I just haven't put them in plastic yet. Oh, the Andromeda one. Okay. But is it good description? I mean, do you feel like you're transported there? A is for Andromeda, yeah. This one. So the Andromeda anthology, and there's two books in this, like I said, and this one is A for Andromeda, and then the second one is the sequel, Andromeda Breakthrough. So you have to let me know. Maybe I should read that one this week so we could talk about it concurrently. All right, so I'm going to show you a bunch of comics that I got. Well, I'll start with half. These are ones I got from my husband. So I got Darkwing Duck. So he likes a lot of the comic ones. And that one is issue number 8. I really like what Dynamite is doing with their comics. Their layout, everything about them, they just look really cool. Here's Darkwing Duck number 6. Here's a reprint or maybe a facsimile issue, I'm not sure, of Darkwing Duck number 1. That one's got a pretty cool cover. I think this one sold out when it came out. Here's Darkwing Duck Justice Ducks, and that one is number 4. When I actually read these, they're kind of fun. Here is Elvira meets H.P. Lovecraft. For some reason, my husband likes Elvira. He likes the photo covers more, but I got him this with all these cats on it. Here is Hercules number 3. And a lot of these Dynamite series, they're very limited. So they usually have like 5 issues and then they stop. I'm going to stop with this one. This one I don't really like. It's too anime for my taste. Lilo and Stitch number 4. Now, I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about Dynamite. Now, I order my comics from DCBS, and recently, especially like this month, they don't have the covers. All they have is the name of the issue and then just a blank thing. So I hate buying comics that way. And I think I bought this one because I know I wanted to get the series. There were 4 different covers. I couldn't see them. And so I picked one randomly so that, I wouldn't miss out. And then I got this. Now, I'm disappointed when I have to do that because I really don't like that cover. And there were other ones that were better. And this month, if you go on DCBS, none of the Dynamite comics have covers that you could look at to choose from. And when you have comics that have 4, 5, 6 different variant covers, like you need to see which one you're going to buy. Now I know many of you go into the comic book shops and you just pick the A cover. But when I buy single issue comics, I'm buying them for the covers. So, yeah, just saying. All right, I'm gonna move. I have this many more comics to show, and then I'm gonna go to. Let's go to SF Masterworks. Okay, the next one is Paul Anderson, Tau Zero. Oh, I'm behind in my comments. That Elvira book is actually great. My wife and I both read it. Oh, that's cool. My husband has them, and I can certainly read through that. I hear great things about the new Darkwing Duck books. I'm telling you, every time I read one, I'm enjoying it. So yeah, it's just I have so much to read. I don't read all of these. Love the old Darkwing Duck show, but I've never read the comics. I've never seen the show, actually. So Tau Zero, I really enjoyed. Um, this one has to do with time travel or time dilation on a spaceship, and the ending of this is pretty interesting and mind bending. I really enjoyed it. Oh, let me get rid of that. Oh, this one I also read, Rendezvous with Rama. This is the one where they're in that cone. Is that the cone one where they're in a cone thing? Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed this. The description of the cone thing that they have to enter is like really makes you think, because they would be down here and they would be describing something at the top. If you've seen Interstellar at the end, like when they hit the baseball and it breaks a window up there, like it's something similar to that. But the whole time they're like they're not trapped inside. They're exploring this alien like artifact in space that is conical and huge. And when they're down here, they're looking at something up there, and it's vast distances. It's really a fun read. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. The next one is Earth Abides, which I think that's the one I have in that other. Yeah, that's the one I have in the other version. Um, this is what I'm going to say. SF Masterworks, I really appreciate this series. I don't think they have great cover art though. Like the cover art on these things don't blow me away, but I really, really appreciate the series. Oftentimes when I look them up, the vintage paperback covers are better than the ones on here, but I still really appreciate this series. Rama was a great read. Yeah, big ideas in there. I wish they would make that into a movie, although I hope they wouldn't ruin it. Rendezvous with Rama was a favorite when I was 15. I thought it was good when I was 50. I I hope you're not saying it's like for lower level, but I think what you're saying is you were a precocious 15-year-old, Sleepy, and I believe that. I do. Here's another Christopher Priest book, The Affirmation. This one I haven't read. Uh, they have great cover design, but not great cover illustrations. That's exactly true. I mean, like I could take and leave that cover. And then the final book in my series that I have is Gene Wolfe, Book of the New Sun, Volume 2. And this is shocking to say, but I'm in the middle of book 2 and I stopped reading, and that is horrible because now these books are so detailed. This is actually a pretty neat cover. These books are so detailed and so interesting that you can't stop. You have to keep going. And so I'm going to have to reread or at least re-listen to the first one before I continue with this series. So, and this is actually lauded as one of the greatest science fiction. So, although to me it's more fantasy, but it does have sci-fi elements, as one of the greatest sci-fi book series ever written. What do you think about that? I'm just saying I haven't gotten a chance to reread it, but I should. Now, I think that you were a precocious 15-year-old, and I wish I had read that when I was 15. I was reading Stephen King at 15. Nothing wrong with that, but I read a lot of horror when I was young, and I think it would have been better if I had read more sci-fi. Oh, I have three left. Let me just go ahead and do these. Oh, we have some comments. My second favorite sci-fi book after Imperial Earth. I don't think I read Imperial Earth. by Arthur C. Clarke. I did read like 3 or 4 of his in a row, and I was getting into him. He's really good. Book of the New Sun is so hard to fully understand. Yeah, I don't think you can fully understand it. I think you just need to get through it the first time, and I failed to do that, although I was really enjoying it. And even though it's difficult to understand, it's a fun read. It's just weird. You can't. It's one of these really, really unreliable narrators. We won't go into it, but it's a lot of fun. Those books. Hey Morton, what Spencer Hill movies would you recommend for Dave to watch? Well, I'm going to tell you the next one I'm going to watch is God Forgives, I Don't, because it's the first one of that trilogy. And then he mentioned another one that I should read. I think it starts with what something. I failed on New Sun too. I need to give it another try. Hey, you know what? Why don't we do a book read of the first book? Like we can set a date and all of us kind of read through it, and then we can get on the live stream and chat and discuss. That would be something good to do. All right. So Arcady and Boris Strugatsky Roadside Picnic. I actually did a review of this. I'm so glad I read this book. But Annihilation series has totally ruined everything for me. That guy, Jeff Vandermeer, did it so well. And this just can't compare. And then, of course, I watched the movie. What's the movie called? It's not called Roadside Picnic. It's not Solaris. It's the other one where they go into the zone. Ed Tarkovsky movie. Okay, so we talked all about that. Yeah, I'm glad I read this. I just think Annihilation blows this out of the water, but this set the seeds of the stage for that. And so for that, I'm very, very thankful. So Morton says, I don't know, Kim, I kind of thought they were too goofy, like those Eastwood movies with the ape. Oh, I used to go see those at the drive-in when I was young. Any Which Way But Loose, and what was the other one? He would go like this and the orangutan would fall over. Those, I haven't seen those since. Oh, come on, they got to be fun. Goofy is good. Goofy can be good. So another one that I actually read was Philip K. Dick's Ubik. This was weird, and I actually enjoyed it. I haven't read too much of Philip K. Dick, and I need to read more, but I did enjoy this book, Ubik. But by Italians, made to make Germans laugh. Oh, oops. No comment there. I'd recommend Watch Out, We're Mad. Okay, yeah. Oh, maybe it was Kim who recommended it, because I remember it had a W in it. Drew Morton, they're cheesy, but cheesy in a good way. Yeah, and the last one that I have to show is a group of short stories by Harlan Ellison. And you know, Harlan Ellison had his fingers in everything sci-fi. So he's an important person to have read or to be aware of. Like he wrote some classic Star Trek episodes. I think he wrote the I Vampire, not I Vampire. I Am Legend, and that's a phenomenal idea. Like the whole idea around that story is so cool. So yeah, I actually need to dip into this more. So that is the end of my paltry, what do you call it? SF Masterworks. I was too busy renting 007 movies and anything with the topless Phoebe Cates getting out of a pool. Yeah, I remember that. That was actually right when I was a teen, I think, and that was Fast Times at Ridgemont High. That was the rave, and then she was also in Gremlins and that kind of thing. Ellison is all over original Trek. Yeah. Okay, so I have a few more comics, a few more books. We'll do the books, we'll do the comics, and then I'm going to talk about what I'm going to be doing moving forward. So this is an interesting one. Don't Look Now by Daphne du Maurier. Now, Daphne du Maurier, she wrote the book that Rebecca, that I think Hitchcock, made the Academy Award-winning film out of, I believe. And so Daphne du Maurier, interesting writer, possibly. This next one is in my heart. So we've got Once and Forever, The Tales of Kenji Miyazawa. He is the one, didn't he do Midnight Train to the Stars? I'm pretty sure, and let's see if it's in here. I don't think it is. Um, this one actually, no, it doesn't have pictures. I really need to read this. I think he did Midnight Train to the Stars, and he's much beloved in Japan. And I'm sure these stories are fun and quirky. I think I have read some of them. Three more. Abigail by Magda Szabo. Now I'm going to tell you that I read this one. This book was phenomenal. They did make a movie out of it. The movie is good, but the book is phenomenal. A friend of mine read Abigail, and I don't think I have. I might have read another book by her, but I need to because she's an amazing writer, Magda Szabo. This book is so good. And so, yeah, there's another one by her that I need to read. Let's catch up in the chat. Or John Cusack's show, Escaping the Newspaper Boy Who Wanted $2. I just remember John Cusack holding up that the boombox. Was it didn't say anything? Ellison wrote one episode of Trek, but he loved to talk about it. Yeah, only one? She married Kevin Kline. Nice. Sleepy, you're right. I'm thinking he did more because he complained so hard about it. You guys are getting the cheese maze going. If you ever find Better Off Dead on Laserdisc, I'll just say shut up and take my money, David. Is it hard to find? Better Off Dead. Okay. And the last book that I'm going to show is J.G. Farrell's The Singapore Grip. I haven't read this. I read another one of his books that won the Booker Prize, and it was really interesting. I think it was called The Siege of Krishnapur. It was a very good book, had an interesting ending. But this one is like, look at it. It's a honker. It's going to take some time to get through, but I need to read it because The Siege of Krishnapur, say that 10 times fast, was such a good book. So here we go. The Singapore Grip. Okay, so that is my trip through New York Review of Books. I need to buy more. That was my trip through SF Masterworks. I only have like 17 of those. I need more. And let's finish the comics. I've got these comics to show. So I'm a fan of Jay Lee. So here is a Jay Lee Maleficent. Let's try to get it so you can see it. What do you think of Jay Lee's art? If you had the choice of the variant covers, would you buy the Jay Lee variants? Here is Scar #2. The Thundercats. So my husband loves Thundercats. So I actually bought 2 copies of #4. I mean, look at that. That painted art. Here's a more traditional. And that guy got look at him. He got really like, oh, and it's DNA art. And then here's Thundercats #5. So yeah, I'm telling you, I'm digging Dynamite on what they're doing. Here is Cruella de Vil, #4. Let me take a break and read the comments. Yeah, it's not plentiful. Don't know what that refers to. My favorite 80s high school movie. You guys are off on movies here. Jay Lee is great. He did Stephen King's Dark Tower years ago, and it was such good art. You know what? That's true. I remember that now. This is a Wonder Woman I got for my husband. I like the idea of this. I don't like the execution of it. But I'm going to tell you what I do like. DC is doing something good. Whenever they have a variant cover now, they are also including the A cover inside. I think that's a smart thing to do. Here's another Wonder Woman that I got for my husband. And again, that's the one I already showed, but I preferred this cover over that one. Which one do you prefer? I just think this one is so much better. But the thing is, with this comic, you get both but I'm giving that one to my husband. And I've been buying him the Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong series. And yeah, this one doesn't have another cover on the inside. There's Mecha Godzilla. And finally, another Batman Scooby-Doo mysteries. I actually haven't read any of these. I wonder if they're any good. One of these days, I'll sit down and read some of these comic books that I buy for my husband. Okay, now I'm going to put those to the side. And the last thing that I'm going to do is I just got a stack of stuff over here. And these are things that I want to do before I end this. So I have a box of like 50 movies. And so I text my husband, I'm like, give me a number. He gives me a number and I pull one out. And so this is the next one that I have to watch, Family Jewels. Now, I already explained many times how I got all these movies. They were super cheap during the pandemic. I'm playing Destroy All Humans. This game is so much fun. All you do is you go around like sucking the brains out of people. And whenever you get frustrated with the game, you can just run around killing people. It's a lot of fun. It's a silly game, but I enjoyed it. I had the original, I think, on PS3. And then I played this on PS4 and somehow I lost the data. And so I restarted it and I'm playing through it again. It's a fun game. And what brings you back is there's all these little things that you can do to finish the missions. Like there's these little probes in every map, and there's usually like 30 to 50 of them. And you have to explore, going all around, looking in every nook and cranny to find the probes. I mean, it's such a time waster, but I enjoy it. I haven't been playing as much as I should because whenever I turn on the TV out here, it makes the room even hotter. So that's one bad thing about the summer. Who's here now? Wellbore. I don't know Wellbore. Hi, Wellbore. Wellbore, can you introduce yourself? Just say who you are. Am I what do you call it? Subscribe to your channel? Am I Wellbore? I don't remember that title. Now, I've been reading The Goon. So here is Goon number 3. So this week I want to read through keep this going. I only have 5 of these, so I'm getting to the middle of it. And then I've been having fun with my older facsimiles. So I want to read through some of these older facsimiles and kind of do some, what do you call it? Some commentary on them. I mean, these older facsimiles, this is what should be reprinted in facsimile issues. This is just a copy of another one, but it has a modern cover on it. I mean, look at these. These things are gorgeous. This is what really needs to be done in facsimile. I'm going to say that again. These are the comics that need to be redone in facsimile issues. So I'm going to be trying to read some of these and enjoying them and commenting on them. I've watched before. Oh, wait. Here's Wellbore. I've watched before, been around the community a while. Well, thank you for jumping in, Wellbore. Now that I've heard your name, it's going to make my attention forgot. I got this epic collection. It's a modern epic collection of Captain America, and this is the Winter Soldier. And of course, I've seen the movie, but I've never read this. And of course, everyone says what a masterpiece this is. This is Ed Brubaker. I'm pretty sure Ed Brubaker, yeah. And so I need to jump into this. And this is actually volume 1 of the modern era of Captain America. And they just solicited volume 2, so I'll be able to go right through. And so this is, I'm sure, a great jumping on point for modern era Captain America. And that's it. I'm coming to the end of my show. Do any of you have any final comments before I jump off? I picked up that military comic facsimile review the other day. I can't wait to read it. Yeah, they're fun. Paul, yeah, do you have any of these? I dig these old facsimile issues. And I mean, look at how beautiful and colorful they are. I mean, simple colors, beautiful backgrounds. I mean, these things are gorgeous. So I want more of these, less of that other modern crap. Like they're doing a facsimile issue of a modern X-Men with Jim Lee art, and ugh, number one, I don't like Jim Lee art, and like Rogue is all up on Magneto with her like ass all out, and her clothes are all in rags. It's like so stupid. I don't want a facsimile of that issue. I mean, geez, Rogue is all sexualized and rubbing up on Magneto. I don't I don't want that, but I think I ordered it anyway. I'm so dumb. So I'm gonna go ahead and say thank you to all of you who watched. Oh, it's just been an hour. That's good. Um, I don't, but I agree that the Golden Age ones need reprinted because they are impossible to find and not affordable. So yeah, I love these facsimile editions. I love them. In fact, I stopped buying so many modern comic. I used to buy a, a lot more for the cover art, and I'm bringing down the amount that I'm spending per month just because it's getting out of control. And but I'm definitely buying the facsimile issues. So I want to thank everybody for jumping in on this very hot Saturday afternoon. And oh wait, we got a couple of comments. Thanks for streaming. Oh, I'm really glad that you all jumped in, especially when this is impromptu. I didn't even really give any notice, but I did not want to clean my room, and so for me, this was like, hey, I don't have to clean because I'm doing a live stream. I like that they have all the old ads. Yeah, that's true. Have a great day, everyone, and sleepy. Bye. I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream now.